Tyson Fury was on Eddie Hearn's podcast. He said he will cut through Anthony Joshua or cut him down like a hot knife through cheese. Not even butter. Seems very confident that he's going to destroy AJ. Again, I addressed this, or AJ addressed this, should I say, in a recent interview, which I did a video about, where AJ said the reason that Tyson Fury is being so nonchalant and dismissive is reverse psychology. He wants AJ to doubt himself. Whereas if you look at what he's doing in terms of getting in shape and being in the States and so on, he's taking it very, very seriously. If AJ really wasn't a threat, then why would Tyson Fury need to train so hard? Well, you could also say that Tyson Fury understands that he needs to train hard when he's going to fight at the elite level. But when he's in top shape, he genuinely feels like he can destroy Anthony Joshua easily. Some people will make that argument. Whatever the case may be, it was interesting seeing Tyson Fury on Eddie Hearn's podcast because these two guys are always slinging mud at each other on social media. Tyson Fury's blocked Eddie Hearn, I think, before on Twitter. But when they see each other face to face, there seems to be mutual respect, which I think is indicative of the fact that Tyson Fury is just trolling Eddie Hearn more often than not, and that Eddie Hearn sometimes bites and takes the bait and thinks that Tyson Fury genuinely doesn't like him, whereas Fury's just trolling him. Fury's just trying to get in his head, confuse him, bamboozle him, and probably enjoys doing it. It was a shame that they didn't actually talk for longer, because I would have liked to have seen more of that conversation. With that being said, I certainly don't like the platform that podcast is on, and I 100% echo the sentiments of Tyson Fury in that episode with regards to what he said about the BBC. I completely echo those sentiments. I'm not sure which media company is more despicable, the BBC or the Guardian. At this point, they might be neck and neck. I was actually driving down the road and I saw a billboard today. And I can't remember what the slogan was, but it was something like, something to do with the truth, right? Or no, something to do with facts, like all of the facts or something like that. And as I got closer to the billboard, it was a Guardian newspaper advertisement. And I was like, good grief, the Guardian newspaper talking about facts, trying to associate themselves with facts? How perverse is that? The purveyors of the most egregious propaganda and misinformation are putting up billboards trying to act like they're all about the facts. I mean, literally perverse, because when the opposite is true. But anyway, Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn, the conversation, I thought it was interesting. Fury's confidence has a lot of people questioning their faith in Anthony Joshua. That's what I noticed. There were some people in my Discord server, Hatman and the gang, who said that after watching that podcast where Tyson Fury seemed so confident, they're now changing their mind. Previously, they believed AJ would beat Fury. Now they're saying, actually, I think Fury's going to beat AJ. Well, somebody who's very confident is in a much better position to perform to the best of their ability than somebody who isn't confident, than somebody who doubts themselves, obviously. Obviously, at the same time, you don't want to get overconfident, but being underconfident is probably worse. You also have to take into account, though, the fact that some fighters, for example, David Haye, will sell you a dream, will sell you themselves to such a level that you buy into the sales pitch. And when they get in the ring, they might still be good, but it's not quite as good as the sales pitch made it out to be. And a lot of people fell for that with David Haye for many, many years. I even fell for it a couple times. He even had me believing for 1 or 2 fights that he was going to be better than he actually was. And that's the power of confidence, if you know how to sell yourself. People can think, well, surely he wouldn't be this confident unless he was actually that good. Well, some people are just master salesmen. And they're really not that good, but they're experts at making you believe they're that good just by talking. Making you doubt yourself. Making you doubt your own prediction, making you doubt your own analysis, making you doubt your own eyes. It's all psychology at the end of the day. And confidence, somebody with a very high level of confidence, or somebody who projects extreme confidence, they tend to impress people a lot. People are generally very impressed by confidence. They don't necessarily like someone who's really arrogant and confident, but they're impressed by it to the extent that they believe this person can do what they say that they're going to do a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So bear that in mind with Tyson Fury when he's saying all this stuff about Anthony Joshua. Now look, Tyson Fury's proved me wrong in the past. I never in my wildest dreams believed that he would actually go and stick it on Deontay Wilder in a rematch, and he did. I thought that was mind games. I thought that was reverse psychology, but it wasn't. And that's the brilliance of Fury, really, is that he keeps you guessing. Sometimes he'll come out and say, oh, I'm going to destroy this guy. I'm going to flatten him. I'm going to do this, that, and the other, like he did with Klitschko. And he did the opposite. He came out and boxed. David Haye did that a few times as well in his career. He said he was going to come out and destroy Valuev, and he came out and boxed. So the art of misdirection. And Fury definitely has got me a few times because of that. So if he came out and steamrolled Anthony Joshua, and he might try it, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries it. But I would be surprised if he succeeded. With the same tactics he used against Wilder, if he came out from the first bell trying to pressure AJ and got him out of there early, I would be surprised and massively impressed. I mean, if Tyson Fury manages to do that, let's say take AJ out in 3 rounds, which is what he's professed to, that he's going to do. If he manages to do that, we've got to be talking about Tyson Fury. Even though his resume is not that deep, it's strong, right? He hasn't had a lot of world title fights, but if he takes AJ out early, that'll be a dominant win against Klitschko, dominant win against Wilder, and a demolition job against AJ. You're going to have to start talking about Tyson Fury being a top 10 all-time great heavyweight. He's at least got to be in the conversation if he comes out and destroys AJ. He has to be. We have to start talking about him in at least entertaining the conversation that Fury's a top 10 all-time great heavyweight if he just comes out and destroys AJ. So, anyway, if you haven't seen the No Passion, No Point Eddie Hearn podcast, I don't like promoting the BBC at all, or anything that they do on their platform, but it's worth a watch just to see the interaction between Eddie Hearn and Tyson Fury. And let me know what you think. Has Tyson Fury's confidence got you second guessing yourself if you're somebody that's picking AJ? Let me know in the comments below. At the end of the day, I still feel like Tyson Fury, despite all the rhetoric and the confidence and whatever, in order to make this a fight about heart, about who has the bigger cojones, about who has more grit, he has to get through AJ's fighting construct first. If that's what he aims to do. If he aims to take AJ into deep water and just beat the fight out of him. AJ is very sharp. He's very clinical. There's footwork there. There's counterpunching there. There's good balance and foot speed there. He's going to have to overcome all of that to be able to drag AJ into the kind of fight he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's going to be that straightforward to overcome all that. I think it's going to take a lot of thinking and a lot of strategy. I don't think it will be as straightforward as what he did against Steve Cunningham. I don't think it will be as straightforward as what he did, and I'm talking about after he got off the floor, right? He put his hands up and walked Cunningham down for the rest of the fight and eventually knocked him out. I also don't think it will be as straightforward as what he did in the Wilder fight. I think AJ is a more complicated fighter than Wilder. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide range of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&A sessions, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got a Discord server where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. There's no contract, no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.